So today I want to speak about the creative genius and why sometimes they seem to just fall by the wayside and then have tragic deaths, or they don't seem to achieve their goals. But I would like to address this in this video today. I'll see you shortly.
I ain't packing the still, suckers for cover. I mean the sunshine, cause I know I got mine. Pimping is a short thing, buried in my bloodline. It's been a cold winter, I'ma switch it for the summer. I ain't packing the still, suckers for cover. I mean the sunshine, cause I know I got mine. Pimping is a short thing, buried in my bloodline.
Greetings, welcome back. My name's Matt from Karnak Holistics, where we learn together and we grow together in the sight of God. So today I want to speak about the creative genius and the tragedies of the creative genius, and also when someone is inspired to be a creative genius, what is the failure or the why they don't seem to achieve it, and how we can help look for those or help those people while they're there. Now, this may not be for someone today or in my lifetime, maybe in my kids' lifetime or my grandchildren's lifetime, but I want to speak about the people like Michael Jackson, James Brown, Prince, George Michael, Elvis Presley, all these people, and even not just musicians, I mean celebrities as well. What happens when they reach a target and they make it really, really big, and then something goes wrong and they are surrounded by all these people that seem to either give them drugs or give them alcohol or something like that to make them fail and then end up in a tragedy. And also I want to address why people today have talent but struggle to get to that point, and why they're not kind of like growing in that sense. So I'll address the tragedy first because I just want to get that out of the way. The reason I want to bring this up because I've been speaking to someone a few times, and they brought up why they feel like God has failed these geniuses. All these people are dying, all these great people. Remember, wars and music don't make people great. It's the abilities they have. It's the person that makes them great. So someone who's living on a day-to-day job is a great person in the eyes of God. Someone who is surviving with having 3-4 children and still holding down 3-4 part-time jobs, still raising their children, and them children's going off to college or university or going out to work or working in the social environment. They're the great ones. And the other point is as well, what I want to address is the people that are in a social and a caring community. They are the ones as well that are like the backbones of creating these geniuses. They are the geniuses because we have all abilities in different ways to achieve these great goals. So let me just speak about people like Michael Jackson, Prince, George Michael, and all these people. Now, the problem is right, when you get to a genius level, and these people were God gifted. They were sent to us to impact the planet, and they did that. I mean, you can go to far corners of the planet to a random person who don't have any music or whatsoever, but yet they seem to know who these people are. So why is that? Because they have the ability, because they've been given to us by the great supreme being for them to come down and to spread that love. So what happens when that creative genius makes it to that level? Now, this is my view. Yeah. So again, this is how I see it, and I'll be meditating on it. And it feels to me that when they get to that level, they always fall to either alcohol or drugs. Now, let's look at what happens there, because it's almost like they're looking to have an attachment or a need or an escape in a way. So in that sense, it's like sometimes it feels like when they get to that level, they're trying to experiment to try and find that ultimate connection. Because once you are a gifted individual, you have this godlike status within inside you. You are at the pinnacle of your creative self, and we all know when we get to somewhere, we achieve and we expand. What we want to do is take it to the next level. So when these people are smashing targets, smashing this, and they are achieving so on, and have all the things around them, what happens? There is nobody above them to turn around and keep them in check. They lose their way. And again, I know people are going to go crazy when I speak about religion, but when they have no kind of spiritual or guidance around them to guide them. And then what happens is they just take on board that they become almost like, if you look at King Henry VIII, he's a typical one of being the ultimate power in the universe in that sense. Now, I'm not saying that there should be someone who is controlling them. They should have someone that they can go to that is not in their circle, that they can go and attach to. Now, we all know if we dig deep into these people's lives, there would have been somebody that they had a really strong connection with. It could be Elvis with Priscilla. It could have been Michael with, I suppose, Lisa Marie. And there were so many people that are around that they kind of attached to. But then, for whatever reason, other people around them just shoo these people away. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that in the eyes, I suppose, in how I see it, is that when you get to a level and you achieve a goal, you become a status. You think you are higher and more important than anybody else. When it really is, you're not. You're still somebody who has a lot more money. You still have a talent, but it doesn't make you humanly or spiritually better than the next person. And yes, you are generating all this money, but if you think about it, these people who surround these people, all these people are around them, all they want is their own status, that they can attach themselves to them because they know that these people can help them, make them feel good about themselves. So again, if this goes out and goes to a creative genius, or there is somebody who is a genius, and I'm going to move on to talk about geniuses who have not been discovered yet, so I will address that in a minute. But if there's a genius that's out there, and I say genius, a person who is at the pinnacle of their level, I think you need to really look at yourself and your place in your own self, or your place in society, or your place on this planet. What is it that you're here to do? What it is that you're meant to do for humanity? And again, go back within yourself, unfold that stuff within you, because even though you keep growing and expanding, until the day you die, you're still growing. And even when you pass on, you're still developing and growing. So I honestly feel, and I almost want to say to them, they need to challenge themselves to go, look, okay, I've reached... I've done, I hate all these Billboard charts, and I'm top of the charts, and I've got sellout tours, and all these records are doing really well. I'm known all over the planet, but there's always another way of shifting it. You know, there's always another level of expansion. And I think until they go, and I don't know, actually I feel, until they go and really go back into themselves and go, okay, well, I've achieved this, you're always going to be that genius, yeah, and you've been blessed, you know, and I'm not saying that you're not. I'm saying that you need to turn around and look at yourself, look at why you want to attach yourself to prescription drugs or being in that environment where you have to drink in order to reach a level. Now, I work with people in the past and even recently that, like, they go, I need a drink, or I need alcohol, or I need drugs. And my first view is like, why? What is it that it gives you? What is the substance? It's a need, and that word "need" is something you're lacking. And the same with when you look at diets and foods. When you try and shift stuff and you're trying to expand, like myself, I'm going through a shift in myself to try and control my diet and the way I eat. My addiction is to food, like most people probably have. But the reality is, and I'm not saying here to sit on a pedestal going, well, you all are like this and you all are like that. I have my own challenges in my own life, and I know that the difference is that I can sit and say, yeah, I do have these challenges that I'm facing, but I'm making steps to change it. I'm analysing myself in order to grow. And yes, and the only way I'm going to grow and achieve goals and develop myself to be a better human and a human being and a better spiritual being is by develop myself within. So even though I hit the creative genius, because we all are creative genius in our own right, but we need to start looking at what it is that we can. There is no. You don't hit a ceiling. There is no ceiling on this planet, and I think you need to understand that there is no ceiling. Even though you achieved all these goals, there is always another target. And there was I wish I knew who it was. There was a wealthy person who I think he owned a string of mobile shops. It was like a really well-known mobile, and he told me and said, I've achieved this, but there's always a bigger and better place I can learn to grow and learn to achieve my greater goals and find a passion. And I'm out seeking that. And he knew that, and I think that's what made him be level-headed, and how he didn't say, my children are going to get this and get that because of my success, you know. And so, talking to the creative genius who are alive with us right now, guys, reality is, you know what? You are talented, without a doubt. And I've come across amazing people. And as soon as I see someone on stage, as soon as I see someone when I'm with them, I'm like, oh my gosh, God has touched your heart with abilities. And remember, God touches people in different ways. But when I'm talking about music, I'm talking about writing, creative stuff. I'm talking about, okay? So you guys are being touched for a reason. And that reason is, I think you need to turn around and establish what it is that you want. Is it the status, the ability to achieve it? And we all motivational speakers always say, like, you will get the goal, you will get the money if you keep following your passion. Yes, you will. But you can't be a creative fool. You know, you need to have some kind of business acronym behind you if you want to achieve a goal, because you can't just be, okay, just trust everybody, because people are going to rip you off. So you do need to be kind of smart and street smart about how you're going on to do this. So what I'm saying to you, even though you're a creative genius, there is still an element that you need to be business minded. There is an element you still need to be developing yourself within yourself to expand yourself, to keep growing. And if you decide to, for example, you're an artist or painter or a musician or, I don't know, a writer, and you've kind of achieved all these goals and ambitions, and you're selling out in your profession, what you need to do is you need to come back to yourself and almost remember the day when you first started. When you first started on that day, the first day or the first accomplishment, when you knew what you wanted to do, and I want to be a musician, and through hell of high water, you know, you wanted to achieve this. And I think that's when you need to press reset and go back to the beginning, not give up everything, but change it here and develop it moving forward. And those creative geniuses growing, you won't need that other drugs or all that stuff, because if you're always working on yourself and then you get in touch with God and you open up yourself up to the universe, he will step forward and he will keep you safe. You know, and I'm advocating so much, and I'm trying to do these messages as much as possible to try and get my messages out there, because I don't want to see any more creative geniuses, even some I've even named right here that have passed over, but all the ones that are coming up that are so talented that I really want to try and help them not to fall like the others have, you know. And I don't feel they failed, and I think it's that, and I don't blame them for that. But what I'm saying is that they could have had a different life if they would have had someone in a way to be accountable to. And it's not even about paying someone. I think even if it's about having being accountable to your own faith. You know, and I feel like this with by Dr. King, for example, I use him for example, where he achieved all this, but he got civil rights sorted out. But he was like, okay, well that's done. What's my next thing where I need to try and change? And so he went after how the government was being run, and then how the Vietnam War and so on and so forth. And the thing is that he knew that the only person he felt accountable to was to God. So he knew there was some bigger and stronger and more powerful than he was, you know. And you know, And I remember him saying, he said one time, I fear no man but the eyes of the Lord, you know, and that is the truth. And I think for me, that's my thing. Fear no one, but fear him, because that way, you know, you'll be accountable to him, but you know, you would do your best to achieve it. And you know, he's always forgiving as long as you're learning and you're always developing. And I hope that's helped, because I really am really passionate about this, because we've had a lot of people dying and passing away, and really, really early in life. And, you know, all their music's going to live forever, but let's try and keep them here as long as you want. And we all know that if God needs you, He's going to want you to go up there and start jamming and start writing for him. But anyway, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you on my next video. Namaste.